Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Finding Your Voice podcast. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be here today because we have a special guest. And not only is it a special guest, it's the first guest on the Finding Your Voice podcast. And I have been dreaming about this all year long. And we're just going to hop right to it. So thank you for tuning in. I will preface this by saying that Ronnie is not here with me today. She's busy with work at her new job. So she won't be joining us in today's episode. So it's going to be me and my special guest, which I will get to with this amazing intro. Here we go. Get ready, because it is, this is quite the bio. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Here we go. Nicholas PILAPIL is a Filipino-American playwright whose plays have not only been published, but have garnered numerous awards nationwide, including the winning of the legendary Samuel French Off-Broadway Festival. On top of being an award-winning playwright, Nicholas is a member of the Asian American Theater Collective Artists at Play and an alum of the prestigious The Writers' Room at the Geffen Playhouse. His acclaimed romantic comedy, The Bottoming Process, recently received its world premiere at I Am a Theater Company, and the Los Angeles Times called him a, quote, complex and shining voice. And just when you think that was it, because there's so much more here, he's also an accomplished and incredible songwriter whose work you may have heard if you listen to my music. So please, without further ado, welcome my bestie, my tiger mom, a storyteller you'll want to look out for. So please follow him on Twitter. His tweets are so funny. The first official guest of the Finding Your Voice podcast, Nicholas PILAPIL. That's you.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited.
I know it's fun. I've been quite a few people's first, so it's normal to be here.
I wanted you to be the first guest because you are so instrumental just in inspiring my own artful journey and me finding my own voice. So I'm so honored. I'm
I don't
probably
know if
going to
it
cry
was
at some point.
inspired. I think I kind of just forced you to do things.
That's true. That's why I call you. That's why I've deemed him my tiger mom. And
Honestly, I love it. Literally on Mother's Day, I'm waiting for a text or a tag. And I'm not even joking.
I probably would do that this year. I'm gonna tag you this time and be like, thank you to my tiger mom, because I honestly would not be where I am if it weren't for you. You literally pushed me to do things that I was so scared to do, and I thank you. So it's kind of a full circle moment here. So I'm super honored to have you here. Thank you for being
Well,
here.
you're welcome.
I'm gonna say that so many times.
I expect my royalties.
Yeah.
Actually, I get some. And I always kind of get surprised. And I check my bank statement. And I'm oh, I made so much this quarter.
You mean the 90 cents or the $1? I don't know. How much do you make?
Last quarter, I made $5.
Oh my God.
And I was your first album, I wrote most of it. So I get a lot of mechanical royalties. So on some of those songs, I probably get more than you.
Yes. Okay. So I had mentioned, for those of y'all listening, Nicholas and we wrote music together. That's on my first debut EP called Trust. And I have to point out the fact that he's wearing my merch. If that is not a mom supporter,
I know.
Yes, touch yourself, please. You are worth the risk. That's from my Nook.
I know, and I don't wear color because I have body dysmorphia. So I'm showing you my full body to wear this bright colored shirt.
And I know you don't want me to mention it, but the thighs. The thighs.
I know.
It's 40 degrees outside, y'all, and he came in wearing short shorts. You just came back from where?
Right at Tribe in Los Alamitos.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm really into the Princess Diana look where it's hose shorts and a baggy sweater.
Hose shorts and a baggy sweater.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what she wore?
Well, it's women shorts.
Okay.
But on a boy, it's
Got it.
definitely hoey.
I'm into the oversized clothes. I want to start wearing more.
You should, because you know why? When you wear tight clothes, everyone knows how old you are now. It's the thing. If someone's in skinny jeans, you're oh, they're over 30.
Okay, so rate my outfit. Let's shred me apart.
Yeah,
so.
you're over 30.
I am. I'm turning 33 this year.
I know. My acting range is 18 to 25. That's all you're getting from me.
Yes. I think I'm at that age now where I'm I can actually pass for late 20s now. Because before I was playing just all middle school, high school. And even when I was 22, I was still playing early high school.
Right.
It just,
Yeah.
I, it's that Asian persuasion and young baby face, if
Yeah.
you will.
Everyone's actually lucky I'm not an actor, so
Didn't you? Okay, well, let's. You were an actor at some point.
I was featured ensemble in a wonderful production of Sideshow the musical. I was the only ensemble member with a spoken line, and the line was, "We all did." And I garnered
Oh my
praise from
gosh,
myself.
I praised it.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm actually doing this actually in March. I'm in a writers group for solo show writing at East Coast
Uh
Players,
huh.
and I actually have to perform it in March. That's like part of the workshop where it's so like we started it last fall and we like write.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's gonna culminate in me having to perform it.
You have to perform that one line.
No, my solo show.
Oh, the whole.
Like yeah, and I'm like freaking out
You
because
got
I
this.
applied to it on a whim
Yes.
because I was bored and I was like, oh.
Shoot your shot. Yeah.
And then like I'm so talented, I got it. I'm just kidding, but but then it's like I was like, oh, I didn't think about this. 'Cause I have to perform it, but I'm not a performer. Like
You are
no,
though.
but I'm not. And so like actually in the workshop, I kept getting in trouble because I kept holding back my writing because in my mind I'm like, okay, what do I actually feel comfortable performing rather than like how do I be vulnerable?
Uh huh.
And then so like in the middle of it, I had to be like, okay, well just like write it
Yes.
and then suffer later in rehearsal.
But okay, the thing that I was digging out when
So I'm gonna be an actor. Watch
you
out.
are, yeah, look out, Hollywood. No, what I was saying, what I was trying to dig at is because you were a child star. I wanted you to talk about that.
I was a child
Um.
actor,
Okay.
meaning my mom thought I was cute and I could make her money. So I did like auditions and like our voicemail machine on our landline was like, "Hi, you've reached our house. If this is for Nicholas's acting, leave a message. If it's not, don't call us." But like I'm telling you, I'm very shy. And
Okay.
so doing those auditions and those workshops, like I never booked anything because I would go into the room and I'm like, okay,
Oh, same.
how do I tank this? Like, no. Like I wasn't even trying to get anything. I was like, I can't do this.
Oh,
So I'd either freeze or I'd either be like, I don't want this. Let me do bad.
interesting. Okay, so I
So
like
like it was never something I wanted. And so like it just never
you were
worked.
kind of forced into it. It was
Yeah.
very like Dance Moms
Yeah.
sort of deal.
Because I was so cute.
You are cute, and you're still cute. The thing that I like, what's interesting is that your mom was like a stage mom, right? She got you and she kind of pushed you into like
Mhm.
entertainment, whatever. I was the stage kid. Like I
Yeah.
was the one that had to like convince my mom, buy me headshots, mom, take me to acting classes, mom, this is the casting directors I need to get in. Like I like researched that all myself, and I was like being like spearheading my career because my mom didn't know any of that.
Right.
Like I had to like tell her and really convince her.
What
So
age did that start?
oh my gosh, I think I got the acne bug at like 10.
I'm trying to think. What was
11,
I
12.
into at 10? I don't think I was like,
Yeah.
well, I think when I was growing up, I was like, I want to be a pediatrician. And then I like Googled it, or back then it was Yahoo or Bing or whatever. And then I was like, oh, it takes like 12 years to be a doctor. F that.
So what did you want to like when you were growing up? Like you we're all like, in elementary school and be like, I want to when I grow up, I want to be blank. What was that?
It was a pediatrician for like the longest time.
Oh,
But then after that, I was like, I want to be a journalist because Lois Lane was a journalist.
okay.
But then I'm shy. And I was like, oh, journalists have to talk to people.
Mhm.
And I was like, I can't do that.
Okay.
And so it didn't work out. But what's funny, it's like when I look back, writing was always like something that I enjoyed and that was there.
Mhm.
Um, but it was just nothing I ever like considered in the way that I do now. Even when I got into playwriting, it wasn't on my own accord. Like someone was like, "You should do it because you're funny," and I was like, and so then then I was like, "Oh no, I do like this." So like, but looking back, I could see like the seeds of like writing. Like my favorite toy, and there's pictures of me when I was a kid, was like a typewriter, like a Fisher Price typewriter, and I'm like
Oh my
4 years
gosh.
old. I used to eat paper, like it was literally inside of me writing.
Paper, yeah.
And then the journalist thing, and then I remember I tried to write a novel, and I was like 8, and it was called like The Gold Letter Opener.
Ooh,
And it was about like
okay.
this like sexy woman who was like murdering people with her letter opener.
With her letter open?
Yeah.
Like psycho. Just,
Yeah.
oh my
I never
gosh.
finished it because I was like, this is hard.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah. Oh,
That's
then I started writing songs in high school because I was like, "Oh, I'm so emo." And so I wrote like songs about how I hate my dad and he hits me and stuff like that.
okay. So I was trying to find like when did it finally like click to you that you're like, I think I like writing. So it was like when you got the typewriter, like doing all that stuff was
Well, yeah, I think when I first was like, "Oh, I'm doing writing for fun or because I like it," was really writing songs in high school.
Oh, okay.
Um,
On GarageBand.
I did. I made, like, my own beats on GarageBand.
Yes.
I learned to play, like, 5 chords on the guitar.
Yes.
Um,
This is before I jumped into the
yeah,
picture.
before you
So
jumped
you
in the
were well
picture.
off.
And so, yeah, I would just, like, write things
Yeah.
and, um, post them anonymously.
I'm getting flashbacks to when I met you because for those just some context, we met in college in the theater department. And you had your like MacBook or whatever, and you were just showing like all of your YouTube. Do you not
Oh,
remember
yeah, no,
that?
no, maybe. I did do a lot of YouTube.
Yes, because you cross pollinated your original music with your food content. Because back then you were a food blogger.
I did have a semi-popular, vegan food
And you
channel.
know what's in my head? Like, what's playing? Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Oh my
Da,
god.
da,
I
da.
forgot about that.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And I think it opened. Was like, there's nothing to eat in this house.
Yes! Because the whole thing, it was like it was skits. Like, I would open every
And no,
episode
well,
with
also it was
skits.
vegan. Like
Yeah.
vegan cook was a vegan cooking show.
Yeah.
Was that what it's called?
I'm
Okay,
not good at
continue. It
naming
was
things.
skits. Yeah.
So every episode started with skits, yeah.
Yes. And that started your YouTube days, right?
Yeah, and then, I, like, made, like, parody stuff that kinda got popular and that
Please
ignited.
mention it. This is the time.
Well, I think I like, there was this one video of me and my cousins, pretending to be Jennifer Coolidge in the movie Click,
Oh my god.
where she's like, "Dawn and I are going to the gym, and all the guys are gonna be looking at us." And then she goes, "Ooh, ooh," and she, like, squeezes her boobs. And so we posted that, and it got, like, 300,000, and then people were like, "Kill the" Can I cuss on this?
Yeah.
They're like, "Kill the fags and rape that girl." So, like, and they were like, "Oh, wow, we're popular." And then I did, like, a parody of, like, Miley Cyrus Wrecking Ball where, like, I licked a hammer, and then that got
Yes.
me on, like, German
Oh,
news TV.
okay. Do you remember when I went to I texted you one time? I was like, I was at Best Buy and I like went on the
Uh-huh.
computer and I typed in your thing and it broadcasted it on like every single television screen, like monitor at the store. And I was like, Nicholas, I'm gonna get in trouble. I was trying to get you views, right? As you
Yeah.
do, because you want
Yes,
to
you
build
support
that
people.
audience, right? So at Best Buy, I like typed in your name and it showed you licking a hammer
Correct.
and it was on
I'm
every
dedicated.
screen.
That video got me a YouTube manager.
What happened to them? Oh.
I kind of stopped making videos because I was
Oh,
like,
I remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
Remember we would go to, like, the YouTube
That's what went to
and
YouTube Space.
yeah,
Yeah.
the space, we would go to, like, the parties and stuff, but it's just, like, I wasn't into it.
Okay, but then we also have to a notable mention is Chardonnay.
Oh,
Chardonnay.
yes, yes.
Chardonnay. Can you give context?
It was my, operatic debut single called Chardonnay.
Inspired by the show.
Inspired by the show. What's the show called?
Unbreakable.
Oh, Breakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Starring Titus
Pinot
Burgess.
Noir. Yeah.
Yes, Pinot Noir. Yes. So that was
I'm sorry, but, like, parody songwriting is, like, my passion.
yeah.
I love it so much.
It's a great segue into Becky and Baldwin, is that how that I guess
It was
conglomerate started?
it was me and my friend Mara Del Rosa. We're just like depressed people, and we're like, everyone hates us. No one wants to do our work, and we're like, let's make our own opportunities. We're Asian, and so we like started a production company called Becky and Baldwin, and like the whole thing is like, oh, no one likes us because we're not white, so like our company's just two white names, and we're like, maybe we'll trick them.
Why is that news to me? I don't know why that didn't
Well, Becky, because like it was like Becky with the good hair.
that's what I thought.
And then
Yeah.
Baldwin is like slang from the movie Clueless, where it's like a Baldwin is like a hot guy, and so that's where Becky and Baldwin comes from.
News. Okay.
And then so like we've done like short films, and it's played at like national festivals.
I was there at your first like
Yeah.
movie premiere and
Had great reviews.
Yes.
And then we produced one of her plays. It was like sold out, and then we have a lot of like digital media stuff and things like that. And so whenever we had a podcast too. It ran for like 2 seasons, and then I was like, I got too busy, honestly, and I was like, if you want to do this, I'll be a host, but you have to produce it.
I was gonna ask like what happened to it.
No, literally, it was like I got too busy to produce it, and I was like, I'm happy to do this, but I can't produce. I can be your co-host. And
Yeah.
she got busy too because she used to work for the Red Table Talk.
Yeah.
So like she was producing podcasts as well. So like it kind of just like fell on the side.
Yeah. Which I know you like planted the seed. You're like, you should probably talk to Mara about podcasting.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
And it kind of sucks. Like it was
Mara, I
like-
love you if you're watching.
It was a cool podcast. Like it got popular-ish. Like we had a nice like distribution, and so,
Would you ever go back to it?
Yeah, I
or
suppose.
restart.
It's talent only.
It's te all right. No, I think it'd be a nice what I love about, like, moments like that, especially in artistic journeys or your creative journeys, really, is, like, when you have moments of pause, then you can really, rethink things and rebrand, and that's sort of why this podcast was created. Because 'cause I've been in this, place in my life where I feel in some ways, for a while, creatively unfulfilled,
Mhm.
and, like, because 'cause I'm not able to sing and perform as much as I want, like, I've been forced to look at different avenues to create and find and, express, really. So, it is inspiring for me to sit next like, by you to hear about your story and how you essentially found your voice through writing. So, can you talk about, um, what that was like for you?
Um, yeah, I think with writing, I guess with finding my voice, like, when I started playwriting, it was mostly for fun and it was in service of others. It was like
Mm,
I started writing when like diversity started getting trendy. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna write like these plays with like Asian people and brown people, and I want to put my friends in it,
mm.
because like all my friends are actors. And I was like, how do I do this? And so I was just writing these things that were for everyone else and that were just like, I don't know, kind of too out there and too extreme in terms of like my idea of pushing the boundaries, which is just means it was offensive. But then there was like a shift where I was like, okay, well, what does writing look like if I'm writing for myself? And what does writing look like when I sacrifice something within,
Mhm.
right? When I get vulnerable.
Right.
And then when that happened, it's like that's actually when
It clicked.
not that it just clicked, but
Oh.
like I was like, I started working. Like before, like writing was like a hobby and I was like, oh, I do this for fun. And then when I wrote my play The Bottoming Process, that was, like, the play that kind of, like, turned my playwriting into a career, and that was the first play where I was like, "Okay, what do I wanna explore in myself and put on the page?" And that was the first time I did it, and when I did that, it just, like, took off, it got noticed, and, the only reason why, like, I work and have a team now is because of that play, and
Oh.
it's because that play was where I was like, "Okay, let's be honest," you know? And then I learned, like, we work so hard for like representation and diversity. And
Mhm.
I learned that just by being myself and staying true and honest to myself, I actually reach more people than trying to serve others in what I assume is what they need.
Yeah.
Um, which is interesting because I was like, oh, like this is just me. And then people would come up to me after the play and they'd be like, oh my God, that's my story. Like, oh my God, I went through this. And I was like, oh, actually, because the play kind of gets like sad and traumatic. Um, and so they would say that to me and I'd be like, I'm so sorry because that's not a good thing. I know that you're like relating to me, but like you
Yeah.
went through that. Oops. you know?
Yeah, no, I feel that. I think it was for I didn't know that that was I mean, it makes sense now, like, you talking about
Okay,
that.
well, I just want to point out, like, that didn't happen to me. Like, cause like in the play, like it's just like
Yeah,
this
give
Asian
context.
guy who like dates this white guy, and then like white supremacy stuff, and like he kind of gets erased, micro, da, 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 and then like it's a pretty like messy relationship. Oops. But like that didn't necessarily happen to me in that way. Like it's not an autobiographical play, which everyone thought it was. But that's my fault for putting a Filipino person who looks just like me in it. Um, but like, those things are my world and those are things I've experienced in certain
Sure.
ways, but
Yeah.
it wasn't exactly
But I
that
think
way.
what's really interesting about that is that it really is embedded in your truth and the way you're talking about this piece that, like, where it clicked for you then where you had to go within yourself to
Mhm.
find the truth is that's when it started to resonate.
Yeah.
And I think that is so important that we do that as artists, as playwrights or whatever, that we instill at least an ounce of truth in there because that is what sets us, you know.
Yeah, well, I always like say always say, I mean, I don't always say it. But like when I run like a writers lab for like
Mhm.
emerging writers when I
Mhm.
talk to them or I talk to other people who ask for advice like on TikTok and stuff. Like I
Mhm.
get like DMs from the children. And
Not the children.
yeah, they do. They're like, "Can you send me that monologue?" They're like, "Oh, do you have any advice for writing my short play?" And then so what I say, it's like, like be honest. And if you don't feel like you're sacrificing a part of yourself, I don't think your play is going to be good.
Mm.
I feel like in creating meaningful art for me,
Mhm.
I need to be embarrassed to have admitted that,
Okay.
and I need to feel like I have lost something. You know, like if I'm writing a play and I feel comfortable for people watching it, and I don't feel exposed, then I'm like,
Mm.
what was the point?
It's gotta cost something,
Yeah, like,
right?
like I'm not writing a multi-cam comedy. Like I don't need to write jokes. Like I just want to tell the truth
Okay.
or my version of the truth.
Right.
Tell my story ish.
Right, okay, so let me unpack the bottoming process, which, by the way, anyone, if you're
Produce it.
produce it right there. You wanna tell them
Produce
the
it.
camera? Yes, produce the show. Um, with that, when you were writing it, did you know, like, "Oh, shit, this is tapping into something that is really."
No, because I don't have a lot of self-confidence. So, like, literally, I'm just writing a romantic comedy. And the way I approach writing is like, I actually don't know what I'm writing when I get into it. I kind of pick like genres.
Mhm.
So, like, I went into it as like, I want to write a romantic comedy.
A rom-com, mhm.
And so I was just writing like two people, da 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 da. Da. And then as you get into it, it's just like,
It
oh,
brings up.
yeah, I was like, this is what it's about. Like, even when I was writing the play and eventually got to this point where it was like, white people affect me this way. And and then I was writing it and then it switched and I was like, oh wait, the play's actually about how I align myself to whiteness and
Oh,
therefore I like sometimes put that on myself because of what I aspire to, which was taught to me by the media.
I'm getting
Right.
chills, yeah,
And
ugh.
so like you find it as you go through it. Like I don't ever have an intention to be like, I'm gonna unpack these
I'm gonna make
issues.
this, yeah,
You know,
speak
it
on this.
it kind of I hate saying it, but it like organically just comes up.
Yeah,
Um so I don't have a lot of ideas.
please. He has all the ideas.
Like yeah, so like I spend a lot of time just free writing. I like with
That's
plays at
cool.
least, I just write a lot of conversations and I like make myself chuckle. I'm like, that's funny.
You
And
are funny,
and then
though.
eventually like I'm like, oh, that's what the story could be. That's interesting.
You
But
are
I never again, I start with genre.
a genre.
Yeah.
That's kinda your process.
Mhm.
That's really cool because I don't think I ever, I mean, we've talked about the show and, a little bit of your how you came up with it, but I don't really I didn't think I really got the whole story of how it came to be and how it clicked for you.
Well, honestly, it started with just the title, The Bottoming Process. It sounded funny and
Did the title
nasty.
come up, like, how soon in the process did you get the title?
Literally, like in the beginning, I was listening to a podcast called Las Culturistas, and like randomly they're just like the bottoming process.
Is
So
that with, Bowen Yang?
yeah, and
Oh
then
my god, I love them.
I don't even know what they were referencing, but they were like the bottoming process, and I was like, ooh, that's the title of my play. And then so from there, like kind of just wrote it. But
Shout
like
out to Las
Las
Culturistas.
Culturistas,
Yes.
yeah.
That's really fascinating. I love that. I it's such a full circle moment because not to bring me into the picture, but I thank you so much for allowing me to be a part
I
of
still
your.
have to post your version of the monologue on TikTok. I
Oh
keep forgetting.
God. Oh, I forgot that you had
I'm
that.
gonna post it.
No, when?
Well, I need to get back into TikTok this year because I have a few projects coming out this year, and so like,
Not me being the first TikTok up there. Don't do
but no,
that.
no,
No.
I will. But like, the only reason I'm on TikTok is because like when I have projects, it's like I need to get on there to build my audience so I could promote.
Yeah.
And I took TikTok off of my phone like, the second half of last year because I was
Okay,
too
boundaries.
distracted.
Yes.
But I have to get back in for PR
Okay, but just to
reasons.
give context, like, there's a really beautiful monologue in the bottoming process. I actually auditioned for the LA production of it. I wanted to be.
Sorry.
I
It's
wanted.
fine. It was for the understudy.
Okay, I wanted to be a part of the show so badly because I read the play. I knew that my best friend wrote it, and I was like, and I just didn't expect it to hit me in the way that it
And well,
did.
the thing is, I coached you. I really tried to help you get it too.
I know, and I appreciate you so
Well, here's the
much.
thing. You just tell all your connects, and you get your production running.
You know what? Yeah, it did. I will say, I mean, not to make this a whole thing, but I was really bummed that I wasn't able to be a part of like the acting part of it. I was like,
You did write a song for it.
I did. We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
There's a silver lining to this entire story. I promise y'all. But like, I remember when auditions came out, I was like, oh my god, I gotta be a part of this. And like, Nicholas, do whatever the fuck you can to get me in this show because I read the play and I was like, that is literally my life in the last like year. And down to like the character's name being
Oh, right.
having some significance in my life. Girl,
But the thing is, like, also, I was like, this is exactly the direction of the director. Like, I really
Yes.
tried.
I know, I know, I know, I know. No, I appreciate any effort you did. And he promised, he was like, I'm gonna get you in the creative process. And we did. We ended up writing a song
Or a song.
together
Well, you
for
produced
it.
it too.
Oh, I did do that.
Like,
I did do
legit,
that,
like, he
yes.
was Max Martin.
No, please.
Have you produced a song since?
No.
Okay, we're gonna do one. I actually no, we'll do one. You wanna do one?
Yes.
Because I have an idea for one that I actually need to do.
Which he just said, I don't have any ideas. Shut up. You have all the ideas.
Oh, I can't. We'll talk after.
Yes.
Because, like,
Oh my God,
I'm not.
yes.
I'm like, I have to do it for something.
Yeah. And I think
need
I'm
your
just
help.
gonna hold you accountable because you were supposed to send me some country lyrics and
Did I
ideas,
not?
You didn't.
Oh,
Or maybe you did and I just forgot.
Yeah, you
I'm very
forgot.
stubborn. Yeah, I forgot. Let's blame it on me because you're the guest. But yeah, so we wrote a song, and like going back to what you were saying earlier, when you start your process, you start with a genre. We started with just an idea. This wasn't the whole purpose was to write a song for the play, but there was no guarantee it was going to make it to the play.
Correct.
There was no guarantee that it was going to be published in any way. At the end of the day, and we said this during the process, I was like, Nicholas, I don't know if we still got it because we hadn't written anything in such a
Yeah.
long time. And it was sort of like dusting off the cobwebs when writing that song. And I was like, whatever happens, whether or not this goes in your play, we'll use that as like an exercise to write music. And if it isn't a song that goes out, we have a song. We
Yeah.
have something.
It came up because in the show we needed a song for a certain part of the show, and um, it was expensive to get rights for songs.
Yes, it is.
And the director was like, "Here are some songs I'm thinking of," and I was like, "No, not that song."
And they're like big time artists, right?
Yeah, and I was like, I could write a song and we could just use it for free. And so
Didn't they say like you can do that? Right?
yeah,
They were like surprised
they're like,
by
oh.
that.
And so like literally we were talking about this. I don't use notes on my phone. I use email drafts. So like I pulled up an email draft, I wrote the lyrics, and then I was like, oh, okay, this is done. And then I called you and I was like, let's write the music to it because I'm not that musically inclined. Like literally when we write songs, I was like, I like bees.
He's talking about the chord.
The chord. And then I'll be like, I think it sounds like and then like you just like you filter
And then
it
yeah.
and then you come up with chord progressions and then you like and then I love it when we write melodies because like we're just talking like aliens to each other. We're like na 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 and you're like
It's so weird. If anybody watches our process, we're like, what the fuck is happening? This makes no sense.
and then like I
But
love
it
your
works.
voice recordings too because we're like it's like dude and then I'll be like
I wish I could pull it up. I wish sound bites for it, but I love our process because it's so unhinged and chaos in like in the most unique way, and I think that's why it's like the yin and yang. Like you bring in something that's far off what I'm used to, and I kind of come in with my own thing, and we balance each other out in such a way. The way I would describe it is Nicholas is very heavy on words. Obviously, he's a playwright. And as songwriter, I like writing the music and
Yep.
melody. If anyone's familiar with writing music, I love top lining, which means basically coming up with a melody on top of a existing chord progression or whatnot. Music theory. But I love that. I was very surprised. Like you don't understand, and maybe
what were you surprised about?
I was surprised that like we still had it.
Oh,
That we still got it. And I think
I
at one
knew
point
it.
looked
I
it up.
wasn't surprised.
I mean,
I was surprised when you produced the entire track, like from the instrumentals and everything. Like, I like honestly, like I just needed help so bad. I was like, you could do it, and I was like bullshitting you. Like literally, I was like, he could do it, and then you did, and I was like, see, I knew it.
I didn't.
I was like
the
gassing
thing
you
is,
up.
You were, and I didn't know, like you being the tiger mom and the supportive friend that we love so much that literally like calls you on your shit and makes you like get on top of your shit. Like you said go produce. I was like, what? I don't know. And I just fucked around with Ableton and whatever and came up with that.
Yeah,
And then here we are.
Now you're a producer, and it was like legit. Like it sounds like a song.
It does. It sounds like a really.
And then
good
when we sent it to get like mastered and engineered, I was like, oh
yeah, I remember, and I was getting live, like, essentially like live tweets or live texts from Nicholas when they were playing it
yes,
and premiering it in the theater, and I was like this at home, going like, oh my god, what if they hate it? What It
was fun.
was amazing. Also, shout out to Michael Alvarado who helped mix and master that whole thing,
And singer George
and singer
Salazar,
George
who
Salazar.
sang the track.
Yes, we're gonna name drop here,
Yeah.
but just to go back to that,
But let's talk about songwriting because, like, we're talking about, like, finding your voice, and
yes,
let's talk about your album.
I love how you just became host now.
What was it called? The Truth? Truth.
Trust.
Trust. I didn't write that song. But, like,
Yes, the debut EP.
yeah, I feel like with that, it was a very finding your voice project.
Uh-huh.
Because with writing that, it was literally like, "What do you wanna talk about?" And then it was literally, like, pulling things from you and literally saying what you wanted to say for the first time.
Yeah.
And,
That was hard
yeah, I mean,
because I didn't know what I wanted to say as an artist,
yeah.
and I don't think not to interrupt, but, like, I didn't find my voice as an artist. I, like, knew how I wanted to sound and sing, but I just I was like,
Well,
"What?"
that's why it was fun for me because the writing, the lyrics for that, a lot of it was, like, interpreting you
Mm.
and finding where I can meet you in the middle through my own experience and putting it
Mm.
out there.
Mhm.
Um, and so it was fun, even like with the songs that you wrote and then you came in with like Trust, like I think you wrote most of that with the lyrics and then we went in there and I think I like helped with the bridge or the second verse,
Mhm.
and it was like again like tightening and helping strengthen your voice and
Yeah.
yeah, that was really fun. And then it's nice because then like with your second album, you had the comfort level to
Because
yeah.
of that. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, and I was like I w I was like, "Oh."
Go ahead, rag on me.
No, I was like, "Oh, I don't get a help on that one."
I wanted yes, I was selfish, and I wanted to
No,
do
no,
this
it
one by
wasn't selfish,
myself.
but it was like it's like the thing where it's like
Let the
you
lips
needed to do it alone,
yeah, you gotta
you
let the
know?
birdie fly, bro, you
Yeah.
know?
You needed and you did it.
But it's that foundation that we set together and that honestly that you helped me get to, so I will go over the moon and back to say thank you for giving me my voice, and
I didn't give you
well, you gave me, like, the tools I needed to find it, and essentially, like, having the strength and the courage to share my voice. Because when you make music for the first time, if anyone or art, it feels like you're put on this platform, and you're like, "Okay, what do I wanna say?" And I had no idea
well,
what
you
I
didn't
wanted
even
to
wanna
say.
sing.
I didn't wanna sing.
You weren't even a
No,
musician.
I wasn't,
Well,
no.
here's the thing, when I first met you, I hated you because you were a good singer. And I was like, "Oh."
Say that again, for the record, you hated me.
I hated you
Yep.
because you were a good singer. Well, here's the thing, because, like, we were in the theater department, and I remember you were in my scenic class, and I was like, "What is this Asian nerd doing in here?" Because you don't look you I was like, "You didn't look like a theater kid. You looked like a normal person." So I was like, "Who's that?" And then we did, like, the stage crew, and I was like, "Oh, you're actually a theater major? That's weird." And then, like, I was just, like, singing backstage and being weird because like, I was bored.
Singing on the carpet, you were singing A Whole New
Oh, no
World,
world.
pretending to be Princess Jasmine.
And then you started singing. I was like, "Oh,
I hate him.
I hate
He
him.
sounds so good.
He
Thank you.
sounds amazing."
Well, I don't sound like that anymore, boo. At least we're not right now. Anyway.
And and then so, like, when you see that and, like, you're playing the guitar, and I was like, "Wait, you can do all that?" I'm like, "Why aren't you doing it then?"
See, our
Like,
connection is sprouted from jealousy and
no, that's literally how I function. I'm, like,
Can I tell you
fueled by jealousy.
my first impression of you? I just thought, wow, this guy's very eccentric. He's very like out there. Like
Was
you,
I?
yes, you were. 1 second you were showing us Mac like videos of on your MacBook of your YouTube videos from your cooking show. I was like, okay. And then the next you're like on the fucking carpet singing A Whole New World. Like you just like
In my defense, I
extremities.
think I was bored
That's fair.
because we sat
But
there backstage
I
for
had never been
hours.
around someone like that with that energy. And I'll say this every time somebody asks, "How did we meet?" It was in like the story was being in your car and you driving around that parking stump going to Whole Foods. That was my first experience
I was like,
going
"I
to Whole
don't need to
Foods.
reverse. I'm
Which
just gonna drive straight out of the
he
parking," and it was a planter.
What was it? Who was in the car? Alina or whatever? What was her
Probably.
name? Yeah, so we were in the car and
It was
my
like,
first time going to Whole Foods because we were working on a show as part of our curriculum, whatever. Nicholas is like, "Yeah, I'll drive us." We hop into his little white Scion, Desdemona.
Desdemona.
Desdemona. He names his cars. And he drives off. My first time riding the car with him, and he goes over the parking stump, and that's when I knew I was like, "We're gonna be besties."
And it was like, "Oh, oops."
Thought I died. I was like, "We're not gonna make it back. I'm not gonna."
I'm a
But
bad driver. I'm
okay,
crazy.
Asian.
Yeah.
I mean, I try.
Like, I say, some stereotypes are true. So,
Yes,
wow.
but I mean, here we are. But it's just been such a crazy journey, and so I'm so excited to see what's coming up for you. The things that you're working on. You are one of those people that I continuously become inspired by every single time because you're out there doing the shit, doing the thing.
Thank you.
I know that's really hard. This is the
I know it's
thing.
really
It's
hard for
really
me to
hard. This is like
accept.
therapy session. It's
It's
really hard for
I
you to
can't
take
accept
compliments.
compliments. Like literally people I feel so bad.
Yeah.
But like I like did like my year in review on my Substack and like someone emailed
Subscribe to it, by the
it's
way.
called My
Hey,
Ugly Mouth. And someone emailed me and they sent this really nice email and it was like multiple paragraphs just like thanking me and being like nice things. And like it makes me so uncomfortable. Like I
I know.
couldn't respond to
I
it.
know.
And I last night I was thinking about it and I was like,
You still haven't responded to it?
no.
Oh,
It
we're gonna
makes
hold
me
you accountable, boo.
it makes me so
That's
uncomfortable.
yeah.
And like I just get nervous and like I don't know how to accept those things.
That's fair. And I remember watching you because I went to multiple performances of your play in summer of 2023. Um, that people would come up to you literally sobbing and be like, "Oh my god, that play," and you're just like, "I'm so sorry." That's all you had to say. And I can tell that it was an uncomfortable thing for you to because you don't get that a lot.
Yeah, and then I started doing this like Oprah thing. I'd be like, thank you. Thank you. And I was like, "What is this?"
Thank you. Is it helping? Or
I just get uncomfortable and I'm like, "I need to do something." And I'm like
I think I think you just for me, what I want to relate to you because I can't let this episode go without telling you that you deserve those accolades. You deserve. Hold on, I'm gonna let me talk here. You deserve that recognition, and all the people who are resonating with your art is for an absolute reason. That's because you, like you said earlier, are sharing a piece of yourself,
Mm, mhm, mhm.
and that shit goes hard because we, as human beings, we're innately born to want to connect to people, and so with you sharing your art, sharing your truth we can't help but lean in. So allow us to lean in. I'm gonna be Oprah. Allow us to lean in and tell you
Like, lean
that you
in.
deserve all this. Because I know for sure fucking fact, Nicholas, that if I was on stage and performing, whatever my next performance is, and the next time I'm back on stage and performing in front of a crowd, and people are gonna tell me all these nice things, and I go, "Oh, I don't deserve it." You're like, "Bitch, yes, you do."
That's true.
You know?
And actually, I love being at your performances because I'm just like, yeah, woo,
Yes.
and I'm there. There's only one show. It was with me and Nazi. You were in like a yellow face production of The King and I, and we still went because they were like, we need to support him, but we were like, we hate this. There's yellow face, so like, we sat there and then we just like ate Whole Foods.
Yeah, it
hot
was
plates.
Yellowface. We're not gonna name names
We're
because
like, we're gonna be rude and eat Whole Foods in the house.
we're not gonna be that petty, but yeah, our king, who was supposed to be Asian, was white.
Well, also the lady.
Oh yeah, she was.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but that
yeah,
girl from Modern Family was in it.
yeah,
Famous.
the
The little girl.
the little girl. But yeah, they Nicholas and Nazi, if you're watching, I want you on the podcast. I told you this. They all were like retaliated by eating really loudly in the theater. I didn't hear anything, but and I was barely in that show, bruh. I was back.
That's still principal. If it was on Broadway, you would have got a principal contract. So
Thank you, but they didn't pay me the principal money. But it was like good money, but it felt like slave labor because we had like 40 performances and we were like it was the closest thing I've ever done to Broadway. I mean, like I have no regrets in doing the show just to build um stamina and tenacity for that role. So I think that, but oh, it was tough. We had 40. I've never done a show that long.
you're like, Top Tim, I love you. Oh. And she
Exactly.
was like, Lunta.
With Caitlin. Yeah. Oh my God, Caitlin.
Oh, she's in my writers group.
Yes, she's now writing and doing all that other stuff.
You have to come to our performance. She's performing too.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay. I think we'll have time to do your shameless plugs and stuff. But what would you say is the thing that keeps your creativity alive? What keeps you inspired?
Um, I don't know if it's like necessarily inspiration, but I'm just driven to achieve the goals I set out for myself.
Mm. Yeah.
So like I'm just constantly going after it. But it's hard because like it's not inspiration. Like there's no s- story in that.
Yeah.
Like this past fall, like I had like the worst like writer's block, and like I had like nothing to say, I had nothing to do, I
Mm.
wasn't writing, I didn't
Mm.
know what I wanted to do, and that's why I signed up for that like writers group thing, and
Ah.
that writing that solo show I hate because I was like I just need to do something, and like you have to apply to get in, and I didn't think I was gonna get in. But so like you know it's hard for inspiration in terms of what I want to write, but I am inspired to go after what I want, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. You are a go-getter. Like
Because
you
like I haven't achieved anything. Like I want, like I want to be like I always say like I want to be an it girl, you know?
you haven't achieved anything. I'm about to slap you across. No, but like, no, that's what I admire about you is that you are essentially a person of your word. Like, if you say you're gonna do something, you're gonna go and get it. I'm fucking stubborn, and I will sit there and be like, yeah, I'll write a country pop song to your lyrics, and I'll probably get to it eventually, but it takes me
Yeah.
forever to get to it, and I think that is therapy, hashtag therapy, like, that's really my insecurity of feeling like I'm not good enough, and I'm constantly thinking about that, especially in this season where I have to be quiet about, like, where I'm not able to express. I feel so
You need to fix that.
lost.
Just make your See, here's my
I'm working
thing.
on it.
I think I'm good enough. I think I'm like actually the best. And like, I see these things and I'm like, why them? They suck. but
I
then
love your character arc because when you walked in, you was like, "I'm not. Oh, no, I'm not," but now you're
No, but it's like it's when I'm saying like, "Oh, I'm not the thing that I want to be," but I think I'm the shit.
I need more of
So
that. I need more of that energy.
so that like feeds into like my bitterness, and that's why I'm driven so much of like jealousy. It's because I'm like, why you? Like,
Mm.
because I read your play, and no thanks, sis.
But see, I mean, I'll be honest, sometimes I'll look at other people's art and be like, "Really? That?"
Yeah.
But and then I feel bad. Am I supposed to feel bad?
No, it just means you're a good person.
Okay.
You go to church
Well, not right now.
Sunday.
No, I don't I haven't gone to church
Oh,
in, like, let's talk about it if you want, like, in over, like, 2 years or something like that. I'm in that
we don't need to.
phase where no, I mean, we can unpack it for another episode for, religion and stuff, but I'm at that phase where I'm like, I don't feel like I should be obligated to be at church to showcase and show.
Good. I agree because like you would always be like, I have church. I was like, fuck you. Like we would want to do things like, oh, I have to go to church. I have to go to Costco with my mom. I was like, leave her alone. Because like you would do, like it was always like you
Well,
couldn't do something because of that. So I'm
because
glad you don't go to church.
I don't, and I like literally. I mean, my mom listens to. I had to set lots of boundaries with her last year, and I said like it was a hard pill for her to swallow to understand that I wasn't going to go to church with her anymore or
And here's the
sing.
thing, like I'm not hella religious. I don't
Yeah.
go to church. I haven't been to church in years, but like I still pray every night. I literally have 3 Santo Niños in my house. Like,
Yes.
I believe in God, and I think, like, he'll kill
Yeah.
me if I'm a bad person, but, like, I'm not going to his house every week.
Exactly, and
I don't
that.
even go to my mom's house every week.
Well, yeah, you don't live with your mom, so it's different. But no, I think just to briefly unpack that, like it just I don't in my humble opinion, you don't have to do all those things to showcase how much you love God. There are people who are just as religious and just as spiritual who pray and praise in private, and that is oh fucking okay.
Here's my thing with praying, though, like, I don't necessarily pray being like, "Oh God, ooh." Like, I pray out of, like, it's just like a soothing thing. I literally pray in bed until I fall asleep, and it's
Okay.
like counting sheep for me, really.
Well, whatever.
Um,
Whatever works. I'm not
yeah.
gonna judge you.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, in sort of talking about, like, a relationship with religion, like, praying has actually become something that's not really, like, religious to me. It's more of, like, a comforting habit.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And I'm like, whatever higher power anybody believes in, like I will never judge anybody. The thing that bothers me is when people force their own beliefs and things down
Oh,
my
yeah.
throat. That is what I don't like.
I
That is
do
not
that to
what
you.
well, you're okay. You can force your beliefs down. It's okay. Because I I believe in your religion and I follow
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm a cult leader.
Yes.
The cult of
Yeah. Okay, so we have maybe just a few more minutes or so. Do you wanna take some time to do some shameless plugging? What
Sure.
you're up to?
Um, if you wanna read some words,
No, not if, you should.
you should read some words on my, my Substack, my newsletter. It's My Ugly Mouth.
Yes. And subscribe. Pay him what he's worth.
Yeah.
Look!
Subscribe. There it
Look
is.
at that, boo.
Look at that fun Photoshop.
Look at Solomon. Okay, by the way, Solomon's always on top of these things because I didn't tell him to pull that up, but go ahead. Plug it.
Yeah, that's it. I write humorous personal essays, and then when I'm too lazy to write an essay, I just write the Nickel list, which is a list of my favorite things of the week.
It's so
Um, actually, I started this when I was telling you with that writer's block. I was like so depressed, and I had nothing to write and had nothing to say. And I think I was having like a weird like manic episode. And so I was like, I'm gonna be an essayist. And so then I started like writing essays, and so that's why I started this because of that writer's block.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah,
I thought you just
that's why I
wanted.
did it. Well, if you read the
See, this is why I love you so much. Is that like when you see a roadblock that happened in your like for me, I just be like, fuck it. I guess I'm
Yeah.
not supposed to. But you're like, I'm gonna use that fuel to take me to the next thing.
Well, then the reason why that kept doing it, because honestly, like if you read the first essay, it's like,
What's
I'm
that?
having a bipolar manic episode, probably. I will be over this in 2 weeks.
No, you're still doing it.
Well, the only reason is because people started paying me. People started subscribing, paying
Because you
money.
deserve it.
And I was like, oh.
subscribe, pay. I mean, you gave me a free subscription, but honey,
did.
when I have my paycheck, I will.
But yeah,
I will
so follow that if you want.
No, they should. I mean, you won't be forced to, but yes, you should.
And then if you want to see a play later this
You should see a play.
year in the summer, I have a
Give like the month and
yeah, I
possible,
think
and the
it's-
year because
it's this year. I think it's
2024.
gonna be August, September. It's my play called God Will Do the Rest, which it's about actually like a Filipino family struggling with like relationship to Catholicism and parental like pressure and intergenerational disconnect.
Mhm.
Like it's very like hella Filipino. I think you would really relate.
I wanna read
That's gonna be at the Los Angeles Theater Center, produced by Artists at Play and Latino Theater Company. So that'll be really fun. So
LATC.
yeah.
Nice.
So
Are there roles for me?
here's-
shooting my shot now.
no, I think there is a role for you. Here's the thing. It's like
Uh-oh.
I think you're too old for it,
Oh, see,
but I'm actually because I'm still workshopping the play, so like it could change. But there's the role that you would fit. He's like a 22-year-old that I'm actually considering aging him up.
I can't play 22 anymore. I just found out I'm too
Well,
old to
here's-
play 20.
Here's the thing. The actor who's doing the workshop later this month is like
Okay.
your age too, and like the casting directors over like he's too old. And I was like, because it's a workshop, I was like, but he's like an amazing actor and he would like do well. It's fine. But
Yeah.
depends on what the director wants. Like
That's
I'm
true.
not in charge.
I just wish playwrights had more.
Audition for it.
I will.
I'll let you audition. For it.
Send me. Okay, cool.
And then
What else? Any songs you're writing? Are we gonna write a song?
we're gonna write a song.
Untitled.
Well, that's what I want to write a song for the play.
Oh, another one. We did it before.
Yeah.
So.
So I'll talk to you about that. You want to
Oh
write a song
my
for the play?
gosh, that's so exciting.
I think that's all I have right now. It's literally January. Like I don't know what's happening.
It's January 2024, just to give you context, and this might be sporadically released. So just if the dates don't make sense or the episode numbers don't make sense, just bear with us.
And
y'all.
don't Google me performing that solo show because I don't want none of you to come to that.
I can't go.
You can go, but I don't want them to come to it.
Is it
And
paid,
like reverse promo that.
a paid ticket?
I have no
Is it okay? I can't wait for that. I hate that we have to wrap up Solomon, but it's just been such an honor to be able. Thank you for being the first guest on the Finding Your Voice
Yeah,
podcast.
of course. If I was not the first guest, I would have been like, why am I not the first guest?
I told Ronnie, my co-host, I was like, Nicholas has to be the first one. And it's actually interesting just to give a little context because I was like, hey, I checked in with her earlier, like at the beginning of the year. I was like, hey, we should talk about dates for the next episode. She's like, yeah, here's when I'm free. And I was like, yeah, I want to bring in Nicholas. He was like, and then she said, I'm actually been like swamped with work. You can do it yourself. And I'm in Veronica. I love you so much, but I'm glad that
Here's the
it
thing
got
that you don't know. I'm actually the official co-host swing for this
oh,
podcast.
well, sorry.
So if anyone's never free, I'm like jumping in.
Mr. Busy, are you sure? No, I'd love you to
I'll do it for
have
the attention, honestly.
yes, absolutely. You're welcome here anytime, and I want you to bring like an element that
Yeah.
that is you.
Maybe I'll bring some plays.
Or one of the 500 books you read
I could
last year.
do like a photo of my face. Maybe that like Filipino barrel man.
It's right there.
Oh, there you go.
Pull it out. Yeah, do this camera. Yes, we're just gonna make that a
I'm
GIF.
glad you have one.
That's actually Veronica's. I don't have that. I don't have very like Filipino knick-knacky things other than like a Santo Niño and like a picture of Jesus, something like
So in the play, the God will do the rest.
Mhm.
The way it starts out is when you were growing up, did you ever have like a traveling Santo Niño that like would come to your house?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, that's how the play starts. Like a Santo Niño comes to their house.
Someone have to like Santo Niño?
No, it's like literally the
Okay.
statue, but like it was like the traveling
That's
one.
literally happening right now because my parents are from Cebu in the Philippines, and
Mhm.
they have a festival called Sinulog, and that's when the Santo Niño like they're celebrating
Mhm.
for like I don't know.
He's my fave. I love him.
He's great. He has the staff and the
He has like
Yeah.
a coat.
yes.
He's fierce.
Very
Yeah. But that's literally a line in the play, like, who's this faggot? And she's like, it's Jesus. Because he looks like a girl.
and sorry.
He has like a tight perm.
Oh,
He's like gold.
goal.
He's wearing red velvet.
It's very pert. Yeah, no. I hate that we have to go, Solomon. I would, if I could, I would have booked you for 2 hours and we'd be here forever.
You don't want people to listen to a 2-hour podcast.
We'll-
Actually,
we'll se-
I would.
because I like hearing the sound of my voice. I'll
Yeah,
say that.
I do too.
We could section them off and we have like a multiple arc series. Anyway, I hate this. But thank you so much to my wonderful first guest of the Finding Your Voice podcast, Nicholas PILAPIL. I encourage y'all to follow him on all the social medias because he loves that. That just like boosts his ego. Follow him on the
Yeah.
Twitter, the X, if you will, on the Instagrams.
You need to post more on Instagram, BTW.
I'm trying.
You know,
No, wait, hold on.
You're trying to be like this business person with projects, and like you never post on grid, and then you only post stories about like your ice cream that you ate that day. See, I'm his mom, and I'm trying to get him to make this podcast very successful, and that includes posting more to boost your algorithm.
Thanks, Mom. I feel so horrible
Mhm.
about myself because I felt
Mhm.
like I posted lots of reels last year. and it
About
was
what though?
really significant things about my life.
You're like, I went on a hike. Just kidding.
Fuck you. Anyway, I hate
See,
him.
this is
I hate him.
I'm mothering.
Hold on. I gotta close the show here. This camera right here, Solomon. Thank you. Forget him. Don't follow him on Twitter. Don't follow him on Instagram. Don't subscribe to his Substack. I hate him. Anyway, I love you, Nicholas. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Solomon back there on the ones and twos, if you will, for holding it down here. I can't wait to see where we head off
I
to.
have one
next.
final word. One final.
You know, why don't you close the show? Go ahead.
I just want to say hi to the Barnamals.
What did you say?
Hi to your Barnamals.
Okay, I think you said Barnacles. Yeah,
Hi.
Barnacles. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, just trying to feed your children.
I think. Do you want to close? I think we should have you close the show. I'll just put on this camera. I'll tell you what to say. Be an actor. Here we go. Look this camera.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, thank you for listening to the Finding Your Voice podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Find Your Voice podcast.
Finding Your Voice podcast.
Shh. Thank you for listening to the Finding Your Voice podcast.
Be sure to subscribe.
Be sure to subscribe,
Follow.
leave a
rate,
comment. Leave a comment, and listen to anywhere you find your podcast.
Yes. And remember,
And remember,
you.
are worth the risk.
Well, not that. I had more to say. You have a story worth telling.
You have a story? Oh, that's actually not true. A lot of people don't. So
That goes against everything this podcast is. Well,
this is diversity. No, you do. You have a story worth telling. Just some of them are meant for diaries, and some of them are meant for like public consumption.
you have a story. Just for the soundbite, you have a story worth telling
You have a story worth telling,
and a story worth sharing.
and a story worth sharing.
Back to this camera. Thank
I
you.
have to be honest.
You have to be. Yes. Thank you for listening. We will see you on the next episode. You want Nicholas back? Then put in the comment section if you want him for another episode. 'Cause
Well,
we have so much.
podcasting is notoriously audio medium. So for the people listening, you'll
that's
hear
true.
us next time.
Yes, listen for us next time. All right, bye bye.